Friends, tonight on the eve of National Public Education Day, we celebrate the traditions and great Australian success story of public education, what it means to Australia's past, present and future, and what it means to each individual child and the nation as a whole. There is no doubt that public education remains a foundation stone of our nation, a driver not only of opportunity and prosperity, but the one place where every child is welcome and where every child has the opportunity to reach his or her full potential through high quality education. Public education is fundamental, of course, to the type of society we want to live in. A fair one, prosperous, tolerant and compassionate. We wouldn't be the nation of a fair go without it. This year, of course, we celebrate Public Education Day against the backdrop of the Gonski Review of Schools Funding. The review, the first of its kind since 1973, is one of the most significant moments in the history of education in Australia. It represents an opportunity to look afresh at what the great challenges are before us in education and how they can be tackled. But it also represents an opportunity for the Labor government to bring about an historic change through the introduction of a new funding system that better meets the needs of every child. The government, of course, must be congratulated for the additional funding that's provided to schools over the last 2 years through national partnership agreements. The funding has not only been significant, but more importantly, it's already delivering results. I've had the fortune recently to have had a few conversations with principals from across Australia. And in one conversation with the principal of James Busby High School in Sydney Southwest, Graham Jerd, he said that in his 35 years in public education, he believes that the national partnership programs have the potential to make the most significant improvements in outcomes for students from low SES backgrounds. Beth Goodwin from Cabramatta High School said only 15 weeks into implementing plans, there were already outstanding programs being delivered to make a difference for students. She described how with that additional money, their library is now open every day till 5:30 p.m. to allow students access to resources such as technology that they may not have access to at home. She tells us that it's staffed with teachers and tutors providing homework help and tutorials. The help is individualised at no cost to families, and up to 80 students each day are accessing this learning centre and availing themselves of additional learning assistance. Raquel O'Connor, principal of Maybell Park State School in Queensland, said that the national partnership funding has given them the permission, the possibility to undertake new practices with all the necessary resources to succeed. We've been able to greatly improve our students' learning outcomes. Paul Rose, the principal of Ballarat Secondary College, said the national partnership funding has enabled them to employ literacy and numeracy coaches. It's given the teachers time to work with individual students, and because of this, their students have shown real measurable improvement. Some of their students have shown remarkable improvement. While these programs are proving to be highly successful, our schools, though, can't be reliant on one-off add-on programs. They're of limited term. If we are to achieve ongoing improvements in student achievement, if we're going to lift overall performance for all children and address underachievement, we need a fundamental change to the funding system in this country. As you may have seen in the press today, an analysis of this year's budget by Honorary Associate Professor of Education, Dr. Jim McMorrow, an analysis which has been aptly called Waiting for Gonski, proves the need for a new funding policy for schools. The report shows that courtesy of the discredited Howard Government Schools funding system, and in the absence of any genuine reform, public schools could face a real cut of funding of over $300 million in 3 years. That's the equivalent of 2,800 teachers. The need for change is therefore compelling. We need a new funding system. Minister, you're absolutely right when you say that the current funding system has reached its use-by date and is in need of urgent root and branch reform. Going forward, we ask that you acknowledge and accept that in order to ensure excellence and equity for all, we need a better deal for public schools. After all, true equity in the provision of education can only exist when public schools, open to all, in every community, set the standard for high quality education.